Small Talk. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Small Talk. You already know, two queens, two perspectives, one topic. Britt, what are we talking about today?
Today we are getting into social media, all the perks, all the do's, all the don'ts, all the reasons why we should or should not entertain ourselves in the social media world. So let's get into it.
Here's the thing, I don't like it. Point blank period. Episode over. Just kidding. No, I have a hard time with social media because I feel like it's just a lot to maintain, right? Like I feel like back in the day, and I'm saying it like we're so old and we're not, but actually social media kind of came up with us, right? Like our generation and stuff. But for me, it was just like, you post what you want, and there was no pressure. There was no such thing as an influencer then, it was literally just like, you posting what you eating, right? You're posting that you're hanging out with your girls or your friends or your family. It was really just like a photo diary, if you will, that you wanted to share with the public. But now I feel like it's like you got to have a certain number of followers, and followers somehow equals the value of you. And then you got every influencer. Well, you have this idea of the influencer, which is like such an interesting concept to me, because it's like, their job is to influence us, right, into doing whatever it is that they're influencing. So, and you have these gurus that it's like, who made you a guru? Like who assigned you that role?
That blue check.
Right. And that's just crazy, because I feel like now it's like that's what people are trying to attain and trying to get. But then you have folks that's like, and I find myself doing it too. Like when I do go on social media, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, instead of me going to Google sometimes I'll go to social media, right? And I'll type in like a certain hashtag or follow certain people that like have, quote unquote, they have social media credentials, but they don't have real life credentials sometimes.
So that's a big thing for me, because I feel like part of social media or being an influencer, part of it, some of it is good, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't have an outlet to look for certain things or to find certain things, or if you're going through similar issues, some people actually tell their stories and they influence you, to be better, to do. I have a couple friends that like talk about body positivity and being a mom and the stretch marks, and they're good, so you're good.
I love that.
So when we talk about influencing things, what exactly are you influencing, right? And we have to be careful, because people get on here. Y'all, listen, I paid a lot of money. She paid a lot of money. We both went through school to obtain graduate degrees in a lot of the things that we talk about. And there's a lot more to it than just getting on here and reading a quote that you saw the other day, putting your own spin on it. Like, I'm not saying that you don't digest it the same way, but there's a lot of textbook stuff. There's a lot of real life situations. There's a lot of strategies, and that's why they talk about experts in certain fields, because if not, everybody could be that. And I feel like if you're going to be an influencer about something specific because of your own experience, that's one thing. But it's another thing to stick your hands in a pot that you're just following a trend. Like, everybody's talking about self-care, so I'm going to Google what self-care is and talk about it. Like, no, that's not. That's you figuring out what self-care is for yourself. And it's great that you're sharing with other people, but don't call yourself an expert or an influencer in that particular subject. And that's where a lot of it gets like lost in translation on social media.
I completely agree. Like there are certain people that I do follow, and they will say things like, I'm a skincare enthusiast, right? Or I'm just letting y'all in while I try to figure this thing out, right? Like, those are things I really enjoy. Like, I enjoy human beings being human beings, trying to figure life out, trying to share their journey, right? What I don't appreciate are people that, like, they deem themselves these experts, right? Like, and then it's like, for instance, there's a difference between people that will work out, right? And like, they'll work out, they've gone to school for it, they've done the training for it, it's their passion, they do it, it's amazing. And then you have other people, and people too, that are sharing their journey, right? So to Britt's point, like, a lot of people do that. I love that, that's amazing. But then you have other people that's like, they just woke up one day, or they already had a good body,
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, it's like, oh, well, y'all should do what I do because now all of a sudden you're a trainer?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you were born that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't work for that the way that you're saying that you were. I just don't like when people are being fake on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't like that at all. But even besides that, and Brittany, I'm so grateful for Brittany because there are certain trends and certain things that, like, there's like social media etiquette that
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like posting at certain times, I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
The frequency of when you like, you know, how often you post, I don't get that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's so much work. That
It
for
is.
me, I don't want it.
It is.
I don't want it.
All these having your what is it called? Logarithms together, and just making sure, like you said, the times and posting every day. And now there's the reels, but the share, but you have to like, but you have to comment, but you have to interact and engage in this and that. It's a full-time job. And there are people that actually do it so much that they build their likes and they build their followers, and they actually get paid to do some of these things. You start getting people to ask you to do ads and stuff like that. That part of it is great. So if you found a way to kind of like, you know, a side hustle, or if you really just enjoy talking to people, that do that for you. But what I agree with 100% with Asia is don't get on here faking the funk, or don't get on here trying to conform to what you see other people do. Right. Stay in your lane. I know nothing about financial, stocks, market, whatever you want to call it. I would never get on here and be like, so have y'all downloaded the Robinhood app? I couldn't tell you what that app looks like. I couldn't tell you how to do it, nothing. I need to call my friends that are actually well-versed in this to help me. Yeah. I'm not going to come on here and fake the funk. Mm-mm. Or I know doggone well, I'm not a person that knows anything, about like healthy eating and vegan. And I'm not a vegan. I don't know. I actually had a life coach that helped me, determine, okay, these are positive fats or whatever. I don't even know what it's called. Good, healthy fats? Good fats? Healthy fats. That. See, this the health group. Saturated, unsaturated. Yeah, that. See, no, it's fat. So I'm just, I know, at least I know, like, this is bad and this is good. Right. That's how I'll describe it. But I'm not well-versed enough to get on social media. Yeah. To explain this to you and tell you to follow me on my journey, knowing doggone well that's not my journey. Like, it's that influence piece is so, it's you got to use it wisely, because so many people, and I feel like this generation of folks are using social media as a platform to kind of push their narrative, which could be a good thing, like I said. But us growing up, we went outside and played ball and came back inside. My child now is like, YouTube, can I start my own YouTube channel? And you have to subscribe. Spell it. You're 5. Spell subscribe. You don't know how to spell that. We didn't have YouTube. Right. We didn't know how to TikTok. It's very new. Whatever these new dances, challenges are. We didn't have that growing up, but now it's so trendy. And people try and do things to kind of keep up, but you have to be careful, because even some of these challenges have landed some folks in the hospital. Yeah. Trying to keep up with these trendy, or the bust it challenge, when you know your knees was weak, but you tried to bust it, and you really bust your kneecaps open. You bust those kneecaps. I can't. It's true. And I even find, like, as a person that if you ask anyone that knows me, like, social media is just not my thing, right? But even with that, I find myself like trying to learn these TikTok dances, right? And I try to stay up on what's trendy, just because I don't want to be left behind, right? Like it's this weird concept even for me, because I'm like, I really don't care. Like, I'm like, if you're my friend, like, call me, like, FaceTime me, like, and some of my friends, they'll send me like funny stuff on IG and stuff like that. Even my best friend does. I can go 2 weeks and not even click on that. You know how it tells you like how many messages you have? I can go 2 weeks, and then I'll finally will go on there, and then I'll like heart all the little messages, and she's like, you're late. And I'm like,
I get it.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But there is another piece of it that I do think that there are some beautiful things that do come with social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some amazing people, even with SmallTALK, that we've been able to meet and interact with that would not have been possible without social media, right? So it's not one of those things of like, social media is all bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's one of those things of like, you have to be smart when you're using it. You can't allow for social media to just like take over your life so much that you lose self, or you become someone that you're really not. And I think now on this whole influencer thing too, to all the influencers out there, aspiring influencers, let your friends know what your plans are. Let your people in your circle know what your plans are, because if we want to have brunch, if we want to have lunch, I just hit you up so we could do that. Okay. I didn't know I was going to end up on a vlog. I didn't know I was going to have to, I want to sign a consent form.
Right.
Where's my consent form? Right. Where's my piece of the pie if you're getting paid from sponsorships and all types of stuff that you have now when we're interacting? That's all I'm saying. Right. I just don't want to lose. I don't want us to become so distant from like just the face-to-face thing, or just meeting people and just being present. Because I feel like sometimes it's hard to just be present when there's a camera in your face. Yeah. Right. Like even as we're recording this, it's still very much like still being conscious of all the things that are taking place. Right. And so it's a lot. And I think it's just really just be mindful. Social media can be a beautiful place, and it can also be a place with many challenges, and just a dark place. So you just have to really just be careful. But do you have fun with it? But still be you.
Yeah, that's key. Is to be yourself and to remember who you are, because even when we talk about people in their careers or people and what they may look like, so many women, these apps now to make yourself look skinny, look fat, look fuller, put makeup, take it off. Even men, you find men adding abs, like, you don't look like that. So what are you doing all that for? And all of it is for validation from other people that don't even know you. They don't know you. So like, I'll call my friends out. Listen, girl, I was with you last week. You didn't look like that, but you got them 500 likes though. So it does something to your confidence and your ego, which could be ultimately a good thing if you choose to use that as a way of like, oh, all right, so I still got it. But you have to know, you have to set boundaries in terms of like not looking for validation so much in other folks that are complete strangers to you. Right. You have to know within yourself that you got it. You got to know within yourself that I still look good, that I can walk out the door and still get the attention that I need or desire or whatever. Not somebody just scrolling and decided to double tap, because I don't know what that does for most people. Right. And then even now, like, people are straying away from the likes, like, oh, I got this amount of likes, but it's not, Instagram is not showing the picture to all the people because likes don't matter anymore. It's about bookmarking, and it's about doing reels and adding videos. Like, that, to me, like I said, if it's your source of income, that's one thing. Right, yeah. If you're pushing your business, if you have a podcast like us or whatever it is, if you have a brunch page, if you're selling whatever. If it's your business, basically, then that's fine. That's one thing. But if you're just coming on here because you're seeking attention, or you're posting thoughty pictures trying to figure out why he's not texting you back, or you out here showing that you in the club with 5,000 women and you wonder why she not calling you back, you're giving social media too much. You're letting people in your life when you don't need to. So a piece of your life, people don't understand that you don't have to share your whole life with folks. You don't have to. Yeah. I respect women and men that keep their partner like hidden. And then one day it's like, married and what? And it's like, dang, you was out here dating somebody. I didn't even much know that, you know? Right. Because you don't have to share parts of your life with strangers. You choose to do that however you deem necessary. But you don't have to, and even if you do that, you don't have to go in depth about it. Yeah. I think that's the key, is to like, I don't need to share like, okay, this is day 6 of my marriage. Here we are. Here's my new home.
Yeah.
Here's my new dog. Like, no, it doesn't need to be all of that.
I completely agree with that. And I will speak to the other side of that, right? So for folks that, because there are for sure some influencers that I find their lives super entertaining, and I do get invested, right? Here's the thing, to the influencers, don't get mad when we have an opinion, okay? You let us in, okay? So now you've been showing me Bobby every week, and if I don't see Bobby, I'm gonna wonder where Bobby is, okay? Right. And also, that's on the flip side, right? It's like catch-22, because y'all influencers, they really don't owe us anything, right? So for us that just kind of view it, it's like, if they don't want to show us a part of their lives, that's okay. If they want to take mental breaks from social media, that's okay. And I feel like we have to normalize that too, because there are some folks that social media is their source of income, right? Influencing is a thing now. So that's how people do, keep their lights on. And I think that sometimes, and we're talking about this, but for somebody that has to be in front of a camera constantly, I can only imagine what that does to them, right? Having to constantly be like, is my makeup okay? Or is my hair okay? Or did I post enough? Did I get as many likes as I needed to keep my lights on, right? Like, I feel like it can be a big responsibility. So for those folks, like, it's okay to still be human and to take breaks. You don't owe these folks that are viewing it, you don't owe us anything. Like, I see so many folks on like YouTube in particular, and they're just like, yeah, I just need a break. And you'd be surprised, they're like, man, I got a lot of hate comments for that. That, I find that to be like ridiculous.
Yeah, because people become dependent on those types of things, but we often forget that social media is not real life. It's not real life. Like, I don't know how many times I'm going to say this. You might be posting pictures of your real life, but it's not real life. So stop trying to live through other things. Stop trying to do things to validate things that you do in your life, or stop trying to seek validation from other people just to move forward and grow within your. It's not that. It can be, like Asia said earlier, a very good tool. Paint narratives. This whole Black Lives Matter movement, even racism in general with the Asian community, the LGBTQ community, even when we talk about religions and all these things, all of social media has empowered and helped create new narratives for these things that might have been pushed under the rug in the past, which is great, because we're advancing the cultures, all of the cultures. Yes. But then it can be a harmful tool when you're using it improperly. And that's where people get lost in the sauce, and we just end up doing silly things for social media. It's not worth it.
Yeah, so basically, be safe. Understand that you can and should have boundaries when it comes to social media. And just really be, once again, you're going to hear us say it all the time, just be mindful. Be mindful of what you're doing, what you're posting, what you're not posting, all that. But just don't forget to enjoy life, like the actual life that's really happening. Be present in those moments. So that's all I got on that. And that's that on that. So this has been another episode of Small Talk. You already know, 2 queens, 2 perspectives, 1 topic. We will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.